Hello there, this is Willingness talking to you today about my Izzet Deck. Today we're going to get started off with Chandra Pyremaster. Chandra Pyremaster is the planeswalker of this deck. She is a very good planeswalker. Her +1 is she can deal 1 damage to target player and 1 damage to target creature that player controls. Now, this ability is useful because whenever you attack that target creature, it actually doesn't tap it, but it actually makes it that creature's defense during that attack phase, which basically means that it can't defend that phase. It's Chandra Pyremaster 0 is exile the top card of your library, which means that you can play it that turn if you want to, but it also helps thin out the deck a little bit. Personally, I don't think it's fairly useful, but I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something. Now then, it's -7. This ultimate is very good in my deck, especially since I want to get either a lot of sorceries or instants used quickly, or I want to just powerhouse my way through someone else. It's extremely useful, and yeah. Next up, we have Chandra's Phoenix. Chandra's Phoenix is a great card. It basically allows you to revive it whenever you need it. You can, it's only 3 cost for a 2/2 with flying and haste. Whenever a red instance or instant sorcery or planeswalker hits an opponent, this card comes back to life, which is really good. I've got 3 of it in my deck. Next up is Young Pyromancer. A great card if you're running a lot of instants or sorceries. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, you put a 1/1 red elemental token onto the field, which is really great, especially for this kind of deck. I've got 4 of them in here. Next up is Nivix Cyclops. A bit of a throwaway in this deck, but, you know, I'm running a lot of instants and sorceries, so it isn't terrible, especially since it gets +3/+0 every time I cast a sorcery, which means every time, which means if I cast multiple sorcery spells in one turn, then it can get really huge. Next up, we've got Spellheart Chimera. This guy is great if you're running a lot of instant sorceries, just like Young Pyromancer. This puppy has an attack equal to the number of instants and sorceries in the graveyard. Not to mention it has flying and trample, which are 2 forms of pseudo avoidance, or at least trample is pseudo avoidance. I think flying is full avoidance, but still, it is amazing. That's why I put 2 in this deck. I wish I had more though. Next up is Prognostic Sphinx, another sort of throwaway card in my deck, but truthfully, it's really pretty good despite that. It has flying. I can discard a card and make it hexproof, which still plays into Spellheart Chimera's powers, and I can scry 3 whenever it attacks, which really helps a ton. Just planning out your next few steps. After that, we've got Maletis Charlatan. Ooh boy, this guy is good. For 3, you can copy a spell. Now, with a ton of spells, that is extremely useful, breaking through many walls, or with a with a burn spell, or blocking multiple casts with a cancel or negate. Maybe it doesn't work quite that way, but still, an amazing card. I wish I had more of them. Next up, we have Clone, sort of a throwaway card. I mean, it can sort of act as another, one of these cards, but really, it's not very cost-effective in my deck. I mean, I can see myself copying a huge opponent's card to sort of be able to block it more effectively, but yeah. Oh, next up we've got Molten Birth. This thing plays amazingly with Young Pyromancer, putting 3 for 3, which is really fun. Especially if you have a Maletis Charlatan, then you can have 2 and possibly return 2 to your hand, which means that you now have a very steady source of of 1/1s. Obviously, it probably won't ever get to that point, but it's still fun nonetheless. Next up, we've got Shock. 1 for 2 damage. What else need I say? It goes well with everything else in this deck, Put a 1/1 creature on the field, or make the Chimera that bit much more strong, or break through a wall, like I said before. I've got 4 of these in here. Next up is Volcanic Geyser. Another wall breaker. X damage, making everything stronger. Just overall useful. It's a little expensive, but still, yeah. Next up we've got Increasing Vengeance. Another one of those fun copy cards. I can copy any instant or sorcery I want with this instant. And then, for its flashback cost, I can then copy any sorcery or instant twice, which is even better. Twice as nice. Then we've got Magma Jet, 2 for 2, Scry 2, fairly, good in this deck. After that we've got Searing Spear. I've got 2 of them. It deals 3 for 2. Not exactly as cost effective as Shock, but, it's still pretty useful. Epic Experiment then. Boy, is this puppy good. For an X blue-red, I can I can cast as many sorcery spells as are equal to X and cost less than X, which can be really cost effective and really, add up a lot to 1/1 creatures and Chimera attack points. And it can revive a Chandra's Phoenix or 2 while it's at it, or make the Nivix Cyclops a hulking beast. We've got 2 of them in here. Next up, we've got Dissolve. Fairly useful card. Really, truthfully, Dissolve is extremely useful. I can counter a target spell and scry 1. Much better than cancel. In fact, it's full better. I've got 2 of them in here. I've got 2 Disperse for any big creature. Then I've got 2 Triton Tactics, which are extremely cost effective and, very tactical cards. 2 of them. Then I've got 4 Negates, just overall useful. Then I've got 22 land, mixture of 8 islands, 1 Izzet Gate, and 13 mountains. Well, I guess that's it then. It's my deck. If any of y'all would like to, have anything to say about it, how it would do, what you would add, or what I should add, any help would be appreciative. All thoughts are nice. And I think I may put up my Simic deck too, if anyone would like to see that eventually. And I guess that'll be all for right now. Signing out is Willing Mess.